This Meditainment production is brought to you today by the Samurai Aquatics and Decor Metaventure. Scan that QR code or click that link in the description and dive yourself headfirst into the Samurai Aquatics Discord server to pleasure your peepers on our current and future range of outdoor decor.
Established in April 2021, Upland Development United is the oldest and most exclusive and transparent no development collaborative in the Upland Metaverse. Contact Morecheese at 68 for more information. Warning! This podcast is produced by Metaverse Ventures Entertainment and contains unsolicited and heavily biased opinions which are solely the views of the individuals involved. It does not include investment advice of any kind, and you are responsible for undertaking your own financial, including tax liability research relevant to your own individual circumstances.
Taking over the Upland Development United. Total meta domination.
Intro by Morecheese. Thank you. All right. Thank you for listening to or watching the UD podcast. This is year 3, number 105, presented by MVE, Metaverse Ventures Entertainment, Morecheese, and me, Ben68. Featuring co-host Dak, Joe Libs, the agency, Tibby125, members from the Upland Development United team, and of course, anybody from the Upland community who wants to jump in and click that link that we share in the MVE Discord. Today's show is recording live on either Tuesday the 13th or Wednesday the 14th of May, depending on where you're at. How you doing this morning, Jesus?
I'm tired. I'm tired, but that's good. And my voice is coming back, so that's good too.
How's the legs? All iced up after all that
legs
dancing?
are actually better today. Yeah, finally.
All right.
I'm old. Old people can't do this anymore. You just gotta do it and then deal with the pain later.
Absolutely. The glucosamine pills. You got to get some of those into you. All right, just want to say from the onset, a huge shout out and thank you to Morecheese and Mr. Cheese for the immense effort they put into everything at Genesis Week, including running the MBE booth, of course. Also want to say thank you to Desjack and the Upland Puppet for attempting to kidnap and murder that fucking horrendous Ben 68 cushion abomination.
Actually, Dr. Tid was the one who was really...
Was he?
There's a video. I have to let him approve it first. It was him and I coming up with a scheme to like play a trick on you. It's pretty funny.
Yes, well, nobody claimed the prize I had out for kidnapping it and murdering it this year, so
what was the prize?
Well, it's going to be decent. I don't know what it was, maybe 100k or something. So I'll have to hire a professional hit squad next year. It must die.
No, I love it so much.
And one last thank you to Mr. Alan C for all the content he put out during Genesis Week. For whatever reason, there was very little shared this year. And for those of us who weren't on site, with all of the problems that Upland had and all the stuff ups with the live streams, it was very thin on the ground. So a lot of people have commented that, you know, if you weren't there, it felt very disconnected this year. And I'd have to agree with that. And Mr. Alan C, he went a long way to, you know, helping to bridge that divide, and it was immensely entertaining as well. So cheers to you, Mr. Allen C. Awesome stuff.
Zoe says, I'll be your Upland Hitman, Ben. Next year it's gone.
Nice. All right, start planning and getting your crew together.
There might be multiple Bens next year.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, this week we'll catch up on some crypto and Upland market news, of course. We'll run through our co-host segments, and then we'll attempt to digest and process the additions and omissions from and the successes and the failures of Genesis Week 2023. So let's get into the breaking bad news and take a look at all the blood that's flowing in the crypto markets. Juicy, juicy. So, and I said to Cheese before we got kicked off here that I think this is probably in response to all of the shenanigans that's going on with Binance and the SEC at the moment. What is going on with the SEC in America? They look like they want to shut down the entire crypto ecosystem. They're going after everybody.
Yeah, my Robinhood said I can't purchase crypto anymore, and it was the easiest way for me to purchase it and then swap it directly over to my MetaMask. It was like done in seconds. I didn't want to, get on into another thing. I had that. It was right there.
Yes.
And now they're saying June 28th. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy. I guess the US has got bills to pay. They want to get claw some money back or something. I don't know. Has that come up on share screen? My Zoom's all fucked up for some reason.
Yeah, it's there.
All right. So, yeah, last week we were at 1.1 trillion market cap. We're down floating with the 1 trillion mark again. So my eyeballs have looked at that. If you're a follower of the show, you know that that's kind of my dollar cost averaging alarm. If the market cap goes under 1 trillion, well, I start dollar cost averaging again. So I'll be keeping a close eye on that. Yeah, look at the Bitcoin dominance. That's a clear indication that there's some pretty significant movements at foot. 3.5% boost was 46% last week, 47.7% this week. We always see this whenever there's a bit of drama in the markets, everybody piles back into Bitcoin, hence the boost in the Bitcoin dominance. And that's kind of reflected in the price too as people fight to buy in. So Bitcoin's dropped 2.5% down to 25K, Ethereum down 7.4%. Some of the big movers, Engine down 26%, Solana down 34%. Oh, mama, back under $15. EOS was 87 cents last week, was $1 not long ago, and down to 67 cents. So that's almost a 30% drop there. Polygon smashed 28%. Cardano really smashed 28.9% drop there. Flow 36% smashing there. Avalanche, Shiba, everything. She's all red. So we'll have to wait and see on that one. But yeah, I'll be keeping a close eye on that and see if I can get my average buy-in prices down even further once we get under that 1 trillion cap. Does that mean I won the bet, Cheese? Well, I don't remember the bet. What did we have? No, you're asleep. You're dead. You're gone. I can't even see Zoom, so I might be talking to myself.
We had a bet. What happened?
You owe me money.
No, I don't.
Send me money, cash now.
How much?
What's that GIF you shared last night? That made me laugh my ass off. Cash now. Need money.
Oh,
need
that
money
was
now,
from Always
money.
Sunny. Money me now. Money me in needing.
Yes, something about that. Yes. All right. Over to the Upland stuff, 90-day average transaction volume. We had a 2% bump there, and for the trading volume, 3.6% bump there. That makes sense, seeing that we just had two city releases. I think it's probably factored in there. And then unique active wallets. Interesting that's gone down in the week, even with a city release. That's down nearly 10%. And total unminted properties. That's always a bit iffy because we did have a city release, but we did have. That's interesting. Huh? I double checked those numbers. So how I worked that out is the total unminted properties minus the locked properties. Now we had a city release. Has Berlin all sold out?
No, I just minted something this morning.
Interesting. So it's had
not much.
So even with the city release, we've actually gone down. So
really,
yeah, we had 4,000 drop from last week, but that doesn't include the city release. So I did double check those numbers twice. So I guess there's some movement somewhere. Somebody's pushing. Let's have a look in the market stats for the cities and see if we can get an indication. The battle is still raging in San Francisco, Manhattan, London for the buy UPX people and sell for USD. That's reflected in the 11% boost on the UPX price for San Francisco. That was 19,000 UPX last week. It's up to 21,000. I have seen that get pushed up at times, even up to the 22, 23 mark. And USD, myself and a few others are battling away there. So that's down to $9.35 this morning. Manhattan's the same. Look at that. It's playing out exactly the same. And uppage on the UPX and a drop on the USD. Chicago's flat. Some of these cities where the USD is at $3, they're not going to move for a while. And also the UPX price on those, they're really at the floor of what's been sold there, unless you're going to start selling for under mint. So there's not much happening there. LA's the same. You can see there's the USD out flippers at play there. And Rutherford's an opposite. Look at that. Rutherford last week, about 36,000 UPEX, down to 29,400 this week, was just under $14, up to just under $15. Interesting. Right. Anybody else playing the buy for UPX, sell for USD game? I found myself quite addicted to it, actually, and I broke my record this week.
Oh yeah, what did you do this week?
I will be pulling out 3/4 of my weekly wage, which is pretty insane to think. Pretty insane to think.
Yeah.
Help pay the mortgage off because, you know, as we've mentioned a few times, the freaking mortgage payments are through the roof at the moment. Even one of my sisters, she just got a rent increase notice. Her rent's going up by $100, $100 a week.
Wow.
So I think that's now $750 a week paying for rent.
Wow,
a week.
Crazy.
Yes, it is crazy. It's
Oh,
insane time. Yeah, Zoe said the same in chat. Crazy rental crisis at the moment. It's absolutely bonkers. So,
Jesus.
yes, it's not good. All right, over to you, Cheese. What's been happening in Upland this week? Not much, apparently.
So
Boring.
much. I'm gonna throw it to Uplando.
Oh my gosh.
I love the exuberance.
I'm about to fall asleep right now.
Well, I got you then. I got you.
I love you. Thank you.
Are you officially back in the fold, Uplander? What's going on? Or are you just taking a temporary break?
Yeah, just things. Can I just say it's just things? But I'm where I can be. I will be for as long as I can be until other things take me away.
All right. Well, don't forget to get your promotions in as well with anything you got going on. That's your free reign to do and say whatever you want.
Thank you, brother. I just did my red robe chant and paid my tidings to the sculpture out at the front of the UDU. So all is well. Did my stuff as you should all do. What's going on? Upland. Look, we just had Genesis Week. If you weren't there in Genesis Week, it did kind of feel a little bit of separation between digital and in real life. And every year they're doing this better and better. Okay, so I would say from last year it was quite a bit better. They had it in one location. We stayed in one location. They did a break, and then we all went away, and then we came back, and then the room was set up differently. And we did have a live band. It was Idon's band Flannel that did 90s rock. What's that? Oh yeah. It was awesome. It was
awesome. He thinks it's cringe, but if he was there, like, I think he would have enjoyed it.
Yeah, why did you think it was cringe?
Oh, we might be able to get into it a bit later, but there was massive hype in the community about, this must be related to some music project that's been going on. You know, way back in the day, you'd remember Uplando, Scooby and a few people they saw, like, on the website, there was a way that you could navigate to it where there was the first signs of a soccer partnership, but there was also a page there about music. So a lot of people were speculating that, okay, this is finally here. And this, that, and the other thing, especially when we saw all that, 90s grunge stuff. I don't think anybody was expecting it was going to be a cover band by one of the co-founders. I mean, sure, I'm sure it was fun. I'm sure it was engaging, but yeah, wow.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what my thoughts are on that, because I would have been more disappointed if it was just a hired local cover band. That would have been really disappointing. But the fact that Idon was there and put it in with his bandmates, you could tell that it was, they've been doing this a while and they rehearsed it. It was very cool. And to that point that you make about it being a music project, look, I spent some time in that industry, and to bring a band in for that type of setup would have been really expensive. So let's all tip a hat to they didn't just throw money out the door and they used internal resources. But it felt quaint. It felt like you were in the fabric of everything. So that felt really cool that it was one of us, even though it was Adon and his people. So that's what felt cool, Ben. And you know how it is when you have a band that you love, you're against us until you're with us. And then when you're with us, we love you. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that's how it felt. And if there had been a DJ and it was just trip hop, trance, whatever music, it would have felt, that would have fell flat. But this was, I mean, it was so killer to rock out at the end of the night and just let it go.
Yeah, I can imagine if you were live on the scene, it would be good. But from afar, it was just like, what the actual?
And I'm a big 90s fan, so that just tickled me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been the same excitement if it was been in the Morecheeses as a cover band, and then and we were rocking out. So it was good. It was a lot of fun. Look, there's not enough time to go over all the things, but the highlights were definitely that there was more one-on-one time with team members and community members with all the different booths that were there. Not partial to and not just hyping this up, but Cheese's booth was amazing. It had this booth dressing. You came up to it and then you just wanted to pet it all day. It was a very cool setup, and the X had a cool setup. So everybody, that was a very huge success. I see them doing that. There's some things that they can change, but outside of that, it was great to see everybody and learn about all the new stuff. There were some things that there is a little bit of disconnect. So with the team and the players, I think that that's going to get fixed because now people have a more direct path to the team than ever before. So we're going to see some cool things. Everything that was after that, I think that Genesis was also not just about being there for the Upland event. It was the community of people that have worked these friendships and have grown these friendships, and now you get to see your friends, and you get to hang out and go do things. And then sometimes things get late at night, and then things go haywire, get crazy, and those things are sealed in the vault forever. So if you experience some of those things, it's very fun and nice, and we hope that people will all come into it next year, and we'll have another one. Maybe you, Ben, maybe you.
I just want to give a shout out to you, Dan. He was much cooler to me this year, and he actually came to the booth and played the cheese game, which was really awesome. I have video of that, so we'll get.
Cool.
And that's the thing. I like to go through my videos. The thing I wasn't really live. Next year I'm going to be a lot better with that. But I did take like over 10 hours worth of videos that I'm going through. I'm posting them little by little onto Twitter, and then I'll get them over to the MVE. I posted the first video of me and Cody meeting for the first time, which was cool. We have video of Dak and Joe doing the Drop It Like It's Hot.
That's coming up soon.
That was amazing. Muy caliente.
See, that's what I'm saying. And Angela, that's the thing. When you were there, you wanted to stream all this, but you were so in the moment. And every time you turned around, there was a moment. And I'm not trying to make people feel like they missed out on all that, but that is part of being there, is just being in the moment and not having to be all kept up and, I need to catch this and catch that and catch this and catch that. So you kind of staged things and did things and had fun while you're doing it, but then you got right back into the groove of things. So that's how I felt it was. And I think people will share more and more, but very successful. I've seen a lot more on Twitter and from the team and from people. It was a better event all the way around, and next year's just going to be that much more better.
I just add that I actually had to watch the recap from Upland because I didn't actually get to see the panels, and I wanted to hear my own panel because I didn't know what I said.
It feels that way, doesn't it? It feels that way.
It's
that's the thing, though, that the AMA is not on YouTube. That got pulled down for some reason. The awards ceremony, they only captured half of it. So yeah, I can appreciate that if you're live at the event, it was awesome. It was better than last year, but from afar, it was a massive fizzler compared to last year.
I think that's going to be on the feedback and that we give the team. They need to have a dedicated resource capturing everything so that Upland has their content creator pushing that stuff out constantly. Like, you don't get to participate. You're there to make the experience for the others that aren't there, the experience that they all want to have, right? That's what you're saying. And I get that, dude. I get it.
Yeah. I forgot that they were going to stream. And so I forgot to include the YouTube channel during the panel. I tried to do audience engagement, but I forgot about the YouTube until I was watching and I was seeing the comments on the YouTube channel. So next year, I know better.
Yeah, it was fun. Dak and I rocked out during the 90s set. It was fun. It was good stuff, man. It was really, really fun.
I was dancing with Dirk. He saw me kick my shoes off. I was dancing with TML, and then he came over and he was dancing. He knew
Yeah.
he had some moves there.
It was cool. The whole team was involved. Bless you, Chiefs. It was involved. It was super. It was great. So again, not to to go on and belabor all that, but I did a couple of things really quickly. I appreciate every single person that came up and said hello, and if I missed somebody, or it was dizzying. Every time you turned around, you wanted to go and say hello and give somebody a hug and do something. It was just over like spidey sense everywhere. So it was very, very cool. The hackathon went down. We had some interesting entries, and Uplandia took runner-up on that. So we did get a nice cash prize and some help from the team that's coming up. But for what we are doing, I wanted to announce today, and there was a little bit of it during the actual hackathon, and I think people kind of missed it. They heard it, but I don't know if they heard it. So officially announced, the next expansion is on its way for Uplandia, and it will highlight Morecheese, Angela Morecheese's NFT artwork. There will be the node that Angela has, Bronxdale in the Bronx. It will include all those areas, those properties, and it is a full partner expansion. It has all of her original artwork. It has all of the quests, the farming, all of the special minerals and things that you can farm over there. It's all based around collaboration between her and the Uplandia team. And I got to tell you, that's the difference between what other types of game scenarios are doing, because we include the actual node, the person that's running it and what gets in there. And it can be anything from just a starting little tiny quest to all full expansion. So Angela, you've been working so hard on the artwork, and I'm blown away with the concept. Might you be able to give anybody a peek at a little bit of artwork, or no?
Yeah, which one do you want me to show?
Just, you can choose I like the one that where I think it's in the courtroom. It's in the
the town hall.
What?
The town hall.
Wait,
Go ahead,
there's
Dak.
no cheese monster? I want like a little cheese of death.
There's a secret. We can't say it just yet, but there might be like something extremely evil in there.
Oh, you got a mini boss and a boss Dak that's gonna blow your socks off.
It's gonna. Oh yeah.
It's so fun, dude.
Yeah. So there's an expansion this is the first of many expansions that are coming. I can't wait to have more and more unveiled. There it is.
That's cool.
It is so good. I got to tell you, let's just focus one moment on this, and I want to just take just a little bit more time. The artwork that we produce for Uplandia is done in a way that it's done with AI art to be able to bring out as much content as fast as we can. And in order to do that, we use stylized AI, but this is when we spend the most time is spent with the other creators that do their own original NFT art, like Angela. This gives them time to produce this quality. I'm blown away. I don't understand. This is pixel artwork by Angela, and it is so incredible. She's come such a long way. And from us working with, from us including with both artists and then others, we're working with people that are really work ethic prone, that really want to get their expansion in and opened up. So Angela, go ahead and tell us a little bit about the artwork that you have here, and then I'll close it out.
All right. So basically, Uplando saw this from the beginning, all the process photos and whatnot, because I kept showing him and it kept changing. And then I have so many different layers, like the Morecheese behind the Morecheese, where it says Morecheese Town Hall, and then my 2 pixel palaces on the right and left, and then the earlier bird gets the worm, but the second mouse gets the cheese. Everything was done in pixel. Everything. Actually, I was live streaming while talking about ideas for the game while I was doing this with Uplando. So cool. I just thought that was really freaking cool.
Yeah, and that's. Go ahead.
As I say, it's a town where the cows and the people live together and they interact, and the cows have their own business.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so the world of Uplandia has so much to offer in what we're doing, but it really, for again, and I was saying, and I see some of the comments. So the AI art is there to produce the core artwork that we have for things, the content that we want to get out. Gaming is changing, and we're on the cusp of kind of the bleeding edge of some of this gaming has to offer. But we're working with artists one-on-one. It takes a little bit longer to produce this type of artwork from Angela, and then that's what we're really highlighting. That's what we're putting the spotlight on. So very cool stuff, and we're glad to have Angelo and us working together to produce this first expansion. And then, you never know when there's going to be something a little bit more eerie and apparitional that comes into the view. And then later on, I don't know, you may see some red cloth somewhere. So there you go, everybody. Thanks for having me on, and I'll take questions, or if that's it, I appreciate it.
So that reference Creekmore and Voodoo, and was that?
It could be. You could be right, Dak. You could be right.
Dak spilling the beans.
Appreciate that. Thanks.
Is there anything else you want to touch on, Cheese, before we kick over?
Keep your eyes out. It may come about sooner than you think, and play Uplandia. It's an amazing freaking game, and what you're seeing right now isn't even half of what's going to be available down the road. It's going to just keep evolving, and getting better and better and better. So get in early, play it now.
Yeah, just the last thing on that. It's the utility. Our utility in the game right now includes properties that you own that have a use in Uplandia. And then anything in your asset wallet will have a utility, including structures, including your FIFA and NFLPA legits, including your outdoor decor map assets from Samurai Aquatics, and a number of things. Everything in your asset wallet will have utility, and already some of those assets already have utility out of the gate in the game. So for people that are saying, what am I going to do with these structures that I have built with all my Spark? Guess what? There's utility, and it is UPIX in and out. We paid over 500,000 UPIX out to players already. That's just starting. So there's so much more to come. So much more.
Thank you for that. That was awesome. I want to ask a question to Dr. Tid.
Dr.
Tid,
yeah, let's go.
Hey, my friend, how was the executive dinner?
The chief executive dinner.
Chief executive dinner.
Well, I mean, it was interesting in the fact that, like, it was interesting.
Tell us about it.
Well, no, more so, I was gonna go back to Uplando's talk about it. I was like, how does that really bring utility back to players? And like, because you are in the know, you get like, you're able to, like, your value properties go up, or how does that add value back?
No, that's one way. That's one way. If like fresh metals, there's still properties to mint. Right?
No, I was asking Lando.
Yeah, so talking about in the know, I guess if you mean that we applied for the Upland Developers Network or the UGC or any other program.
Maybe I can frame this, because I asked Angela the same question. Yeah. I was concerned, like, if Midtown Terrace was going to get involved, for example, like Midtown Terrace is sold out. There's no opportunity to get in there unless you're going to pay heavy price on the secondary market.
Participate, right?
Yeah. So, but I believe there's a way that you can still get involved in everything to do with that without having to own property specifically in that area.
Yeah, so out of the gate, we took Fresh Meadows. Fresh Meadows still have mintable properties. I mean, you can still get in and have use case in there at mint. That's an unbelievable in the world of Upland right now. And in terms of getting in or having in the know or whatever, here's the thing. Anybody that is in there can have that. They just have to go through the process of being with the partner program, which is what these early adopters have done. And why wouldn't you want that opportunity for the node that you've toiled and ground and built? Why wouldn't you want that extra care that goes
Yeah,
into having done all that. That's benefit to you. I mean, if you have a node, Tid, if you've got a node somewhere, don't you want that utility for your node and your people that you brought all this way?
Sure. So how could a note, so a different question would be, so anybody that is creating or going to or want to create a node like from afar, how can anybody like participate in that kind of like closed network that you guys have?
The free-to-play closed network that you can join at any time that has no registration really. It's free commands. That one. Yeah, all you gotta do is come into the game of Uplandia, get interested in it, and say, I want to be a part of this. That's how it works. I mean, we have dozens of people that have done that, from just a simple little quest all the way up to full node expansion. It's the early adopter. That's it.
You heard me, Angela. You got me. That was a
I
joke.
got you. I
Yeah,
got you.
that
Well,
was
how,
a
what did I,
joke.
what
Come
did I
on.
say?
It was
I love you,
high
Dr. Tim.
five. You
I
didn't have
want
to
to
take it.
I want to know what happened at that dinner.
Well, I think I like dominated for like a too long time, and then I think they like kind of banned me almost.
I think they did. I heard they did. What did you have for dinner?
That's the most
I
important
had
question.
a
Yeah.
Dan. I had a Dan for dinner for an hour. I totally
Cannibalism.
took a Dan on the side, and I was like, I asked them a lot of questions about like community. On the community side of it, it was like, what is going on with a lot of really things that matter for the community, not about our like little games that are going on and stuff like that. I was like, what about core functions and game functions and stuff like that? So I really razzed him for a long time, and some people didn't like that because they wanted their own questions answered, where it would be
Or they just wanted to enjoy a nice dinner with the founders, and you just kind of
He's sinking his
Took all
teeth
this-
into the meat. He was pushing the potatoes aside.
meat. What kind of meat was there? Like, what kind of food did you eat?
See, that's always a squirrel question. I don't like that. I was like, yeah, okay, fine. Undercooked meat, if
Oh,
you're asking.
gosh.
Undercooked. I heard it was a really nice restaurant.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
It might be one of those things where what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and what happens at the
Yeah.
chief executive dinner stays in the chief executive.
That's what I was
No,
trying
I
to
don't
say.
think I
yeah.
don't
Yeah.
think it's gonna stay in there. I hope it doesn't. That's awesome. So yeah, if you're interested in Uplandia and becoming part of the crew, all you have to do is, not be a bitch about it. Come to Uplandia, play the game, make friends, be nice,
I
and
love you, jeez.
bring. I love you too. I love you too. You were one
That's
of
so
my
funny.
favorite people to meet. I
I
want
gotta
to
say, Dr. Tid was the most interesting one to meet, especially when you were at the blackjack table.
Oh,
No, I think it was the prep talk.
Yeah, there you go. Actually, he is inspirational and had many really good points before I did my panel. I
yeah.
won't talk about where we had the prep, he had a pep
Uh-oh.
talk for me before the panel. I won't talk about where it was though.
No, but we had a real good prep talk about like,
Yeah.
being cool and calm and just being a part of your own being, man. It was awesome.
You could have used a Dr. Tid before your chief executive dinner. But let's move on to the player of the year. Oh my God, Shacklin.
What? Who's that?
That's Shaq, our very own Shaq.
I didn't want to even fucking talk.
I love you, Dr. Tid. Everything we say in here is all love, and you're amazing, and you come here every week, and we do appreciate you. All right? Yes. Shaq, where are you at, lady?
Yes, and shout out to Misita and Elijah Judah as well.
Sorry, Cheese, did you ask me something?
Yes, I said you're player of the year. Like that's amazing. You deserve it. You're incredible. You want to say a few words about that?
I don't know, absolutely blown away and amazed, and I can't believe this happened. And serious. I'm thankful to everybody. I can't believe it. Just so much gratitude. I love the community and it makes me feel loved. And so Thank you to everyone.
No worries.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for being an amazing player and an amazing person. And like I told you at the Genesis week, I'm very lucky to have you as a friend, and just keep kicking ass.
Thank you so much. I'm lucky to know all of you beautiful people. Thank you.
Very good.
No, I gotta say, I met Shaq and she like rocked the house. She was like corset on. She just like, she was so fun. She really rocked the house. It was really great to meet Shaq.
Dr. Tidd, it was wonderful meeting you. I enjoyed our talks, and I feel so bad I got pulled away right there at that last minute. And then we never got to reconnect. But it was wonderful meeting you. And yeah. Fun
Kicking
guy.
ass and taking names with a smile. Yes. All right. This is the part where we'd normally throw over to TB125, but I'm not sure that he's in today. Cheese, you met, I believe I saw a photo where you met him. How did that all go? The TB
Oh yeah, I met him again. He's awesome. I met him the first year, and it's funny, I didn't even realize he was the same person I met when he was doing his TB section here. And then I met him again this year, and he was really fun, happy guy, just going around like, talking to everybody. It was really cool. I enjoyed it. I hope everybody that came this year comes next year. I give you shit, Dr. Tidd, but I do really like you and enjoy your company. I got to meet who is your partner in crime, Nick, Big Nick. He was a fun time. He dyed his hair blue. He got compliments. People were complimenting him on that. So yeah, I wish like a lot more people can come, and the same people that came this year would come again.
Nice. All right. Yeah, I don't think TB's in. We'll see if he pops up through the show. We'll throw over to him. So I guess that takes us to you, Dak. You're on mute, brother.
Yeah, no, I do have a lot to talk about. I mean, heck, Genesis Week was amazing. So much happened. Let's start with we did the live race for the championship, and actually, let me share. I'll share this one thing. Share. Okay, and so it was amazing because we had Sergeant Loco with a 5-point lead going into the final race. I mean, he really was just about set to win, but didn't qualify for the final race. So, we always have 2 heats. They're the qualifying heats. The top 3 of each of those heats makes it to the final race, which sets your top 6 place. Well, Sergeant Loco ended up placing 9th on the qualifiers, which dropped him out of first place. Risey, coming in second place, was able to take all his scores, and you see like the race 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Risey came in and just edged out Mass Chef by 1 point. And so, I mean, that was, the ongoing engagement and participation. It was great to have all of these. I tried to do a big post to the community channel in Upland thanking people, but it was so many people to thank that my post was not allowed because I had too many tags in the post. I didn't realize that was a thing. I wish I would have saved it because it was a long post.
That's
I'm
frustrating.
like, oh, come on.
Yeah.
So I actually reached out to Lizette to see if she can get me a copy of it, because I know when you're the admin, you get to see the things that are blocked by the bots and stuff. So I'm hoping I can get that post and then just post it to URL, because there are really so many people to thank. It was an exciting race. We had Dirk. So we set up outside of the main area where the panels were going on, the AMA was going on, the exhibit booths were, and we set up outside with the big banner of the Genesis Week behind us. I set up a chair for people to walk up and start talking. And the first person to walk up and start like looking around saying, "What's this?" was Dirk. So I'm like, "Sure, come on in." And so he sat down and he was talking. I mean, he's so excited about everything that's going on, and it was nice to get him. We had Gustavo Guga from Stock Car Pro come in and talk a little bit about ahead of the panel what what the excitement is around Stock Car Pro coming into Upland and so forth, and talking about racing a little bit. We had the ninjas come in and, you know, say hello. We had Thank Me Later come in and, you know, talk a little bit about sponsoring. We had Too Stupid to Win from UpX Podcast. So, I mean, it was like this, you know, who's who, and I'm there talking and I'm just like waving to people. I'm like, oh, there goes Big Nick, there goes this person, there goes that person. And it was just like crazy. It was awesome. It was the, I'm definitely going to try to make sure that I do that again in the future, where I align a season to end on Genesis week, because it is the best time to just have that championship race, especially when it was just so much excitement in the race itself. So that was one thing. Then we do the panel, and obviously Stock Car Pro asking Jeremy some tough questions about racing. A lot of people have been complaining about racing and how you have all of these issues with like the slow ups and everything else. Part of it is because it was already kind of decided, and so it's already rendered. So it doesn't matter what the animation is. The look, you know, your placement in position has already been determined once it starts rendering, right? But with the idea of, and this was a big thing that Jeremy announced that he's been working on. Part of the reason that there's been problems in racing is because they're rewriting racing. And so they really wanted to provide more agency. A differentiator that Jeremy has made very clear is that they're not trying to create a simulator like a Gran Turismo simulator or anything like that. They are trying to create something where you have a little more agency, is the term Jeremy likes to use. And what we thought about is more like Mario Kart, right? Where you have some control over how you race and everything, but it's not like you're having to really kind of adjust with G-force and this and that, taking turns and whatever. The other part of it is that the reprogramming was designed to start taking advantage of some of the stats that are included in the blockchain. Jeremy talks about how they had to define the attributes when they minted to the blockchain, so those are set. There wasn't much they could do, but you know, he gave an example of if you're turning and you have a high handling score because of your BE or because of your car, then even if you as the player kind of screw up, the program should be able to help adjust because you just have better handling than maybe your opponent does or something like that, right?
Can I ask a question?
So it's going to be interesting.
Sorry, Dak, can I just go back? You said, and that's a good point to make, like, you know, when you're doing the existing racing, the outcome's already determined when the race starts, and you're just seeing the animation play out. With this, you can move tracks and all of that, and I believe there's a nitro booster or something. Is the outcome still already decided at the onset, and that's just all fluff? No, it is.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
No, and so they reprogrammed racing for Upland, and so that's been one of the key problems in terms of like some of the issues that racing has been having. And they're going to be, so pretty much there's going to be Upland Racing 2.0. And they're using the go-karts, because if you think about the go-karts, it's limited functionality, right? There's no passenger elements to worry about. There's no on-the-road mechanics to worry about with go-karts because they're really only for racing. Right, and so you can actually take the functionality of racing and driving in Upland and kind of narrow it down to a very specific test scenario with the go-karts, which I thought was really smart, and it gives players something to kind of do and engage in before. One of the things I mentioned to Jeremy is I really like that they've moved in that agile kind of delivery model where they're always putting out little functionality. And so this was a great way for them to add little functionality before really messing up transportation and vehicle management in Upland, right? So those are things that I think were really interesting. It's going to be exciting to see what happens. I tried go-kart racing. It is not intuitive and it's not easy, but you do have some elements. And what I kept forgetting is that you're not controlling the car. You're just avoiding the key that I heard from people who were racing and doing much better than I was is don't think about controlling the car, think about avoiding obstacles. And then the other part of it was the boosts are the most important part of racing in go-karts. Knowing when to use your boosts, obviously don't use your boost going into a turn because you just wasted it, kind of thing, right? And so, but coming out of a turn onto a straightaway, that might be the best time to use it, right? Or something like that. So of using the lane shift to avoid traffic and then using your boost to hit the right spot. That's the key to winning races in the future in Upland, until they get a more sophisticated model. It was interesting to hear Don say that he wants the players to come in with something better than Upland is doing in racing. So Upland wants to put in racing, but he wants partners like Stock Car Pro and the community. You know, who knows, maybe there's a game developer out there that wants to build a racing game for Upland, right? And Don wants those to come in. So he talked about that. So there was a lot of really good stuff that happened in terms of all that. And go-karts were awesome. Upland sponsored the final race and gave a go-kart to the champion, which I thought was really great. Risey from MMV Motorsports was the champion. And so, you know, they did really well. It was just a lot of fun. Racing has a lot of functionality that's going to be added, where I'm working on trying to create partnerships with with Stock Car Pro. I think that there's going to be a lot of opportunities. I said this to someone else before. One of the things I'm going to also really push hard for, and I want to kind of take advantage of, and it's something kind of what Elijah was doing too, but using the Nowhere Cafe functionality. I was talking to John, who's the CEO of Nowhere. He was at Genesis, and so we were chatting. And, you know, the idea of having racing cafes. And Dirk talked about, you know, maybe, you know, people being on the rooftops and being able to see races, right? So having the rooftop cafe and being able to do 360 racing kind of engagement. Anyway, point being is that racing definitely has a big future. Obviously, Upland is very interested in the whole racing mechanic and the economy of racing. And we do see that also playing into the community. You know, I did ask a question about community and how does, you know, and that was Dr. Tid, who actually, you know, in our pep talk was like, you know, I find out about how does Stock Car Pro coming in to Upland support community, and how does it, you know, how does it play into community scores or anything like that? Because obviously what players and the community are really interested in is how does it, one, help our community, especially if we're focused on building it and building up community points, scale, and so forth. And then how does it actually create an engagement and experience for the community, right? Because if it's just going to be more legits and mementos and stuff like that, the community doesn't need it.
Yes.
But if there's going to be where you can actually create a racing cafe and bring people to your neighborhood, or there's going to be, you know, if there's something involved that's going to add to your community score, or if you're able to drive, you know, bring it into a Nowhere Cafe and create an experience around it so that you can enjoy that, or bring it into a spatial IO theater like Real Note LA does. Whatever it is, the idea is how do you create engagement and community development. So it was good to kind of talk about all that. Again, lots happening in racing. Go-karts are going to be happening. There's obviously going to be another season of URL, so stay tuned for that. We're probably going to make the announcement sometime in July. And then the final thing is I am going to, Matt Shep and I are working on putting together a raffle for Genesis Week swag. So not everyone got to be there. So we're going to be doing a raffle for some of the Genesis swag that I have. I mean, I'm not going to use it all. I'm not going to wear everything. I'm not going to wear a scarf in Florida. Sorry, it's just too damn hot. So I have the swag. I'm going to raffle it off to people, and I'll cover shipping. So if you know, and if you win, you can have a Genesis Week swag kind of memorabilia.
Oh. All right.
I realized that without, you know, since I wasn't able to engage with the YouTube community, this was a great way to kind of bring it back to the community.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you very much for that, Dak, and congratulations again to, is it Rizzy? Risey?
I call him Risey.
Risey. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it's Rizzy or Risey.
And commiserations to Sergeant Loco. That must have been almost a table flipping moment, I would imagine, not qualifying when you were so close to the grand prize.
We did thank him for creating drama and just showing that it's anyone's race.
Yes. There's a couple of points you touched on there that how do I phrase this? I think it was one of those live broadcasts. I believe it was Thank Me Later, and it might have been Idan, where they were getting into it and they're having a debate backwards and forwards. And Thank Me Later was asking about utility, and Idan kept mentioning stuff that was about value. And it was great to see that Thank Me Later just kept pushing back about it. Hang on a minute, that's not utility, that's added value. So
right, and there was a really big. I watched the two, and that was on Thursday before the whole thing where it was the UpX podcast, and they got to ask questions, and there was definitely some confusion, and even in the YouTube comments, a lot of people were saying, yeah, TML, get them, because there's a difference between value and utility. And yes, we appreciate you bringing value to Upland with like Stock Car Pro and so forth. But what's the utility of bringing someone like Stock Car Pro or FIFA or anyone else into Upland? If it doesn't create utility, then there's no long-term engagement, right? And so I thought that was really good. You're right. It was something that TML definitely kind of kept trying to pinpoint. And yes, there is a difference between value and utility.
It's from can you just jump out of share screen too, please? Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
And yeah, I think for me personally, I think, I don't know if interesting is the word, but it's definitely eyebrow raising to see that Upland is continuing to onboard layer one partnerships, where a lot of this perceived utility that the community is asking for is all being palmed off to layer two. Well, my concern is if you palm everything off to layer two, well, what's the purpose of layer one? There's a lot of these layer two projects that, the only reason they're really affiliated with Upland is because, they want to add some personal utility to their own stuff. Well, some of them could just, if they're successful enough, could just exist in their own right with their own cryptocurrency token or something. I'm just concerned that they're onboarding layer one partnerships and, legits and all the rest of it. And anything that we ask about as far as utility gets pushed off to, oh no, that'll be in layer two. That's on you guys to create the utility for that.
I still want to say, but I'm sorry, I didn't know I was. So I talked to Dan about layer one and layer two, and I was talking to them about like how do you actually bring it back, and so to your very point, Ben, like I remember you saying like, what the fuck with the little micro houses and whatever, right? Like, why does it even matter? So why would a player even spend on that? And so like one of our conversations was bringing utility back, and I'm like, all you have to do is so every structure has a utility, so it's like 8 for an apartment, I believe.
Yep.
Right. So I'm like, if you take that and then you use that as a multiplier towards your monthlies.
Yeah, like a small UpX boost or something. Yeah.
Or a replacement thereof.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like if you build a micro or you build a medium or a ranch or whatever, and whatever was promised to us in the beginning, you actually delivered to us. That would be the full delivery of, and then we would high five them.
And we'd all go bonkers, putting up more buildings and structures. Yeah, I agree with you fully there.
Huge. Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry, I just wanted to say that.
No, that's all good. I've got that on my notes to touch on as well too. So
no, but I'm gonna push on that as well. So I think us as a community, like I think that's very important for us to like make sure that we say, hey, utility as a building. Well, it doesn't mean that we're not gonna get it rental. Like, come on, that's retarded.
Yes, my point is you can't keep palming stuff off to layer two. That's right. It can't work.
Right. And so like where does the layer one value come back in? So like layer one value comes back in on exactly that point. So let's do it.
All right, Dak,
I would like to say something. I would like to say something to Slav's point there. I don't think we should be dicks. We're here to support each other. To say that AI art is not art, it's about the game. It's about it's the first part of Uplandia that used AI art. Everybody that comes on will put their own thing into it. I don't think we should. We all had help at some point in our time in this game. I think we should more concentrate on building each other up than pushing each other down.
His final point there is important though. You know, can you claim ownership of AI art and sell that as your own work? That's where it gets a bit tricky compared to the stuff that you're doing where you're producing it yourself.
That's the point, man. So the artwork there is the art so that you have the feeling of the time and the era. And then we work with original artists to bring and highlight their art in. AI art, if you're just, you know, if you're set in your ways, or if you're just utilizing somebody else's platform like a Ready Player Me, or you're just copy and pasting things across, I mean, isn't that basically taking from somebody else's art? You're not producing your own artwork. Or if you're just taking from Upland's, you know, art that's in game already, I mean, that's a hard comment, you know, to make when you're doing that. What we're doing is working with actual players in the game that have put their blood, sweat, and tears into nodes and promoting them. So that's what we're doing. And working with Upland to bring utility in, not just on layer 2. We're working to bring utility into layer 1 as well. It's what you don't see that are business-to-business partnerships for developers that do that. So
okay, and I also want to add something here because I think this is important. And Dejak kind of touched on it too when she was doing her pitch for her program, that, you know, for her hackathon presentation. There's a lot of folks who play Upland who are not artists, who are not developers, right? But they have a lot of great ideas. And this is a great way, using the tools like generative art, right? AI art, using low code or no code frameworks to create programs and so forth. I mean, these are tools that can be used by individuals who are not, you know, who don't have those skill sets, but can then still be able to engage. And from my perspective, that helps expand community engagement, helps expand the number of people that can contribute ideas to the metaverse and Web3 space. And I'm never going to say no to something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's community building. It's not community tearing down. And if you can help engage in your player base and the people that you have that you've created these communities and these friendships with, that's the highlight. That's what we're doing with Angela. Her art is highlighted. And as to, can you mint those NFTs? Yeah, it's going to be the artists that are creating the art that go into the minting of the NFTs. That's the whole point. That's how we're doing this. So I appreciate the question and glad to clarify that.
So to that very point, so how does new communities or like founding communities or like starting communities, like, or anyone say like, we want to be a part of that, and how do they get involved?
Just go over to the game, start the game, and introduce yourself to the game.
Yeah.
Play it a little bit, understand what it is, and then direct message Noise to Meet Your Eye, and we get you in the early adopter partner program, and we work it all out. There's probably 8 people that are here right now that have done just that and have expansions already in the works. You've just got to get engaged to be able to do it. If you don't show interest, we think you don't have any interest. So that's all. That's it.
Absolutely.
Okay. I just thought it would be like way easier where you just like click a button and say like, hey, and then like you talk to someone and you're like in, and or you had to be in. So anyway,
that sounds more gatekeeperish than the way they've set it up. Like, because then somebody would have to proofread it, where Uplando is saying that if you want to be involved, all you got to do is get involved. So
yeah.
Low barrier of entry.
Yep. Thank you very much.
All right, now it's at this stage we would normally switch over to the Drop It Like It's Hot guys, but they're both busy today. So I got in place of that, Cheese has got us a little video here to share. So I'm going to bring that up. This was I didn't know.
Yes,
I didn't know how to take this. I didn't know to be horrified. What's going on here, Dak? Now I'm going to press play, and I believe you're going to be able to hear it.
Good, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Go, go, go. Drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Oh my God. Good, drop it like it's hot. Drop it like it's hot. Go, go.
Oh my God,
a little
indeed.
bit delayed there, but
what's going on there, people?
It's on my Twitter. You can see it on my Twitter.
Ah, my shitty laptop. Fizzle.
Yeah. So Joe had come down. I saw Joe
Chow.
Cheese was
Was
there.
alcohol involved? I hope so. Sorry, Dave.
No.
There wasn't. Oh my gosh.
I'll dance at a drop of a hat. So
He was dancing all night. He had some moves there. Yeah.
So I enjoyed dancing, and we had Cheese there, and Joe and I said, let's drop it like it's hot for her, because I mean, you know, it's Joe. Joe's there. If agency, you know, the agency was there, that would have been perfect.
Yes. All right, we'll have to set that up for next year, I suppose.
But I didn't expect it to be, you know, all over
live
like
broadcast.
Thanks, Cheese.
Oh,
I had to.
You did for your Twitter, yes, and that made it public domain, so it's all good.
Nice. All right, we've probably got about 20 more minutes before we have to start wrapping this up. So I had a bit of a think and a click around before. So what do we actually get from Genesis Week? Like, one of the concerns we talked about in the lead up to it, is this going to be another year of fluff? Are we going to actually get some juicy stuff? Mm-hmm. So what did we actually get from Genesis Week? I got a few bullet points here. We had the stem, the protum, the totem. We had that whole thing announced. I believe everybody had to read through that 2 or 3 times to get their head around it. But I think everybody's good vibes about that, aren't they? There's the only underlying concern is, how is this going to be sold? Are these going to be sold for USD? Is it going to be sold for UPEX? Was that clarified at all at Genesis Week? The totems?
No, not
Not
really.
how they're going to be sold. No, how they're going to be sold was not clarified. And I'm sorry, I've said this before. It's Upland. They have investors, and this is going to be one of their biggest money makers.
Yep.
It's going to be USD.
Ooh, yeah, that's a hard pill to swallow, but I get it. Yep, they got to keep the lights on in the office.
Dude, you gotta kick TML over and like see if he's going to give you any news on his side of it. But I mean, Ben, you want to know the truth of the matter?
I'd love to know the truth of the matter, mate.
Take a deep breath. I don't know.
Yeah. It's just a wait and see moment.
For real, it's like Upland really wants to. They really want to know, and they really want to make the right decisions, because the game base is awesome, right? We're all in it for the right reasons, okay? And then they want to know, like, how do we move forward from here to left from right? And it's like, and then we got all these like personal interests, like, you know, people telling you, fuck you, whatever. And they're like, who do we listen to, and how do we move forward? And it's, how do we not like self-interest people, for lack of a better term, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, man.
I get it from both sides. I would expect that the whole totem thing, I expect that Dak's right, that it's going to be sold for USD, but that there will be opportunities to, you know, like, people grind away. People have got 40, 50 Spark just grinding away treasure hunts. I would assume there's going to be some avenue to be able to get hold of some of these totems that don't involve USD.
STEM
Yeah.
is going to be the organic token that supports, and Idan or Dirk, I think it was Dirk, maybe it was Idan, I don't know who it was. They talked about STEM and how not everything that's organic is going to generate STEM.
Yeah.
Some is going to require STEM, but not give it, right? So for example, a cat or a pet, you'll get love from it, but you won't get STEM from it. Now, if you have trees and farms, you will be able to farm STEM, and you will be able to collect STEM from those types of organic structures. Absolutely. Now, if you have a flower, it's not going to give you STEM, it's going to take STEM.
Yeah, it's like STEM's like the poop that comes out the back end of your Tamagotchi, and then there's utility in that as fertilizer, so to speak. Metaverse, I believe you were going to chime in there? No? Somebody was.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Kind of just backpacking off of what Dak said. In my conversation with Dirk, it was that STEM was going to be paid back if, you know, when you're farming it. But the totems, as far as I understood, were going to be earned. Like, I don't think it was going to be for sale, because they want to get the best metrics back from us, for people actually using the totem itself or caring for it.
Yeah, I think it's one of those ongoing issues where they drop a little bit of information and it just raises more questions than it actually answers. So we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I
on
think
that.
they're going to be earned like via certain challenges that lead up to getting the totem yourself.
Absolutely. One of the other things was, of course, the Brazil stock car info. Dak touched on that, and I think we've had that debate, utility versus value and all that sort of stuff, so we can skip over that one. Cafes, we kind of touched on that as well. Two of the other main ones was Miles has a new pal. Has everybody voted? Who'd you vote for, Cheese?
Lizette told me to vote for Penelope because that's her daughter's name.
Yeah,
So
I
did
actually
that.
voted for Penelope too, just totally random.
Gaia came out. That would have been my second choice. I like that name.
Yes. Right. So we'll have to wait and
Someone,
see on that.
who was it? I saw on Twitter someone saying the alliteration is important. Mickey, Minnie, and like gave examples of different ones. And yeah, that's true. But I think Penelope had a good story behind it. So yeah, I voted Penelope.
MP sounds good to me. Or PM, you can flip it.
Oh yeah.
Have to wait and see. Was Penelope the top choice? I don't believe it's still ongoing, isn't it?
I think it ended. No.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, was it Gala or Gaia?
Gaia won. Oh, interesting. There you go.
Words.
Miles and Gaia sitting in a tree. Kissing.
Or not. Or it doesn't have to be. They could just be good friends.
Oh, it does say new pal. So yeah.
No. Pal means friend.
Yeah.
Just because if she's a female doesn't mean she has to give up the goods. Because I read this one thing in the Upland Deli, friend with benefits. I didn't appreciate that at all.
Oh gosh. All right.
Yeah.
Yes,
So let's
it is a brave new world indeed.
Brave new world, my ass.
The other big news, of course, was the Ethereum bridge. But again, that's not new news. We knew this was coming. We knew these bridges with various cryptos was coming. And was there any, significant development? Is it live or is it just news?
News.
Yes.
Now
news.
they did actually show a BE on OpenSea. So the Upland Bureau is doing test runs of selling block explorers on OpenSea.
Okay, well that's good to see that it is live.
And so they showed that, and they showed about that. We will be able to actually put our NFT assets up in OpenSea. So that was actually really cool, really good news.
Nice. So I guess that only really leaves, aside from all of the other fluffage that went on, is the announcement that Tokyo is going to be an upcoming city release. That's pretty cool. I think the imagery in that they put out, that was pretty awesome. I enjoyed it. Although I don't know why they screwed up the lettering in that whole thing. They were trying to be fancy to make the katakana spell Upland, but it just looked, if you can read katakana, it just looked a goddamn mess. It was bizarre.
Maui wants to open
they'll come out with the sorry, go ahead, Cheese.
Maui wants to open a llama daycare with you, Ben.
Oh hell no.
Oh, I mean, but you have experience. You're a kindergarten teacher. You could be running after.
Oh, that's just what I want to do in my downtime, is relive my freaking work life.
Oh.
Llama snot, virtual llama snot. That's what I want to engage in. Yes. No.
Geez, you had something about that. Llama snot spit.
Yes.
There you
go. So
yeah, go ahead.
I want that Akira bike.
Yeah, look pretty cool.
Who's going to make those? Do you think that they'll have something like that for release? That'd be awesome.
For release, maybe not for release, but yeah. I think it's going to be very interesting how they do the neighborhood lines on this one, because we're going for these partial city releases now. Tokyo is absolutely massive, and there's just like hundreds of thousands of properties here. I've pulled up a map here. This is where I predict that they'll release the first wave. Somewhere in here, these are Ku means ward, so Minato Ward, Chuo Ward, Chiyodo, Shinjuku, Shibuya. Probably somewhere in here. You're talking in this area, you're talking wow, that's so many properties. And the sticker shock on this is going to be like nothing we've ever seen before, I would imagine, especially if they go in this Chuoku area. That's like Ginza and all of that. That's like the super high value stuff. So start saving, people. I already started a savings plan within the UDU Discord. I'm keeping myself publicly accountable. I'm committed to not spending or using any of my dividends until the Tokyo release. So it's going to be pricey. Yes, I'm hoping they don't just completely frig up and just make up imaginary neighborhood lines.
Ben, hold on.
Yes, mate.
What did you just said? You're not doing what with your dividends?
I'm not spending any of my dividends. I'm just collecting them, and like I think I was on day 3 last night, so I have to maintain a certain balance. If I go below that, Cheese is gonna stab me in the neck with a blunt object.
Yeah, okay, so what are you doing with your dividends then?
Just collecting them and letting them sit there in my account.
Are you doing that so that you can reward players, or just because
I'm doing it so I can reward myself by buying some juicy Tokyo properties?
Okay,
Yes.
fine.
Yes, because it's going to be incredibly expensive. I think
Let's go Tokyo.
Yeah, London was not much of a shock. Berlin was not much of a shock. Tokyo's going to be insane.
So what are you sitting at, like, holding? No.
180K at the moment. I've only just started. So I'm hoping they don't release it till maybe August or something like that. That'd be nice.
I think maybe in the next 20 days.
Oh, I hope not, because I'll be caught with my pants well and truly down.
Doing somersaults.
Code node for the win.
Oh no.
Thank you.
CJ brought that up before. We're having a laugh in chat. How often do you have to claim your earnings now? Well, I'm a chief executive, so I can stack up to 8 million. And originally I put the challenge in. I was not going to collect my dividends at all until the Tokyo release, and Cheese was like, yeah, but if you sell a property, somebody else is going to gobble up all that UPEX. I was like,
dude, I was like, what city would like Ben actually really give a fuck about, right?
Yeah.
And so is Tokyo the really care about?
No, but it's like if you lived in Dallas, would you give a shit about Seattle? Maybe. I don't know. I never lived in Tokyo. I visited there, but you know, I'm just cool that it's the first
all over
Asian.
Seattle. Just saying.
Yeah. So yeah, I won't be going crazy there. I'm certainly not putting any. You know, I'm not going to sell up bags of crypto to buy up Tokyo. Certainly not running for a node or anything like that. I'll just be getting what I can.
Actually, I heard there's a lot of people that are like, wow, Tokyo is a very big deal, and they're actually starting to pull friends into like make Tokyo matter. I'm like, what?
Yes.
I want them to.
Sorry, Kachao.
I want them to start doing one city vanilla release and the other one with the collections revealed, so you can choose whether you want to, you know, try for what's already out there and you know it, or if you want to test your luck and your research skills, go for a vanilla release. I think that would start being fun.
Mix it up a bit, yeah.
And Ben, you can cut off the whole UD thing so that we can talk on the backside too.
Well, I got to run to work, unfortunately, but yeah, today.
Oh, but good. Go.
Not yet. We got a few more minutes. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think Tokyo will be fun. I think it'll bring in lots of new people, and we'll have to just wait and see. But yeah, the start saving because the price is going to be crazy. So that covers what we did get. Now, what didn't we get from Genesis Week? Well, we didn't get a rental system, which we touched on. We didn't get any information about third-party Spark staking or any information about an official exchange. We didn't really get any information about any layer 1 legits utility. And as I mentioned previously, we didn't get any sort of music-related partnership that was heavily speculated in the community. Is there anything else that we were hoping for that we missed out on? No. Geez, I believe you did ask about, was it the third-party Spark staking as part of the AMA?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I mean, I love Jennifer. She's awesome to meet in person. Her and Lizette are my favorites. Sorry, other CMs or other people in there. Um, I know they're working hard. They're trying to get things going on, but I really do want to level the playing field and have people that don't have as much spark be able to get going as fast as we were, you know. I think it's just going to add to Upland and add to everybody's enjoyment to get like everybody who wants to do it, they can do it, you know. I think that'll also get like stuff going in the UCC and the Spark Exchange as well. Like I think, I don't know, I think it'll be good for everybody. It'll just trickle down.
Yeah, I actually pushed hard on that one in some side conversations. And what I got is it's still on the roadmap. It is just not a priority right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same with, merging properties. A lot of these new features that we're getting, like, they say, well, you already have utility because you can have a meta venture with your structure. And as Tid and I got into before, like, yeah, well, if you've got a micro house, you can't do jack with that. If you've got a small townhouse, you're not going to run a meta venture out of a small townhouse. So that whole property merge thing, I know in Midtown Terrace, for example, we can't really apply for some of these new meta venture opportunities because we don't have the property sizes available. So that kind of roadblocks a whole bunch of people. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of tiny little things like that that need to be gone back and fixed up, finished off. We're talking about spark mining and all of that as well.
It would be great if they, since they are kind of doing agile releasing, there's sprints and there's epics and so forth that you can kind of incorporate into your planning structure. I would love for them to do, there's a term for it where you kind of go back and do a cleanup. And so you take a sprint or two or an epic and just go in and do a cleanup of like that final mile kind of items, right? And so, yeah, some of the little things that you've been talking about that would add so much value, but yes, new features are great and everything, but sometimes just going back, setting aside some time to just do like a hackathon or something and get the developers to go in there and just hack at something real fast, fix it up, get it out. That would be amazing.
I got a really great question then to pose towards the community. So in this discussion, how would you propose that we like do a cleanup as per our discussion? Like, how would you put something together that would be like a cumulative, okay, fuck up and then we get it back in shape?
I like Dak's suggestion there. Like, as we mentioned before, I don't like that things are being pushed to layer 2. So Dak said hackathon, but like an internal Upland hackathon. So get all the divs, get them to have a competition, make it a fun event just for them guys.
Say that
you
again.
can pick the features for that sprint based on, the Upland did a great job putting together that board where people could upvote features that they're interested in, so forth. So you have community feedback with a very specific list of features that the community would like to see.
Yeah.
Take 3 or 4 of those, do an internal hackathon.
Yep.
And then, whichever developers do the best, highlight them and let the community throw some love on it.
Yeah, game development companies do that all the time.
Are we still on like a video or no?
Yeah, we're still recording.
Oh shit.
What did you say? You didn't say anything.
I don't think you said anything. Yeah,
well, no, there's a lot of stuff I want to say. I don't want to.
Oh yeah, no, be good, be good.
Yeah, but no, I think that's a brilliant suggestion, Dak. Yeah, put it out to the community. What are the top 3 things that you want us to work on? Those go back and finish off projects. We can all have a vote and then do an internal hackathon. I think that makes good sense to me. And like I said, many game development companies do that themselves. So one of the things that I've been whining about since I got first in the game back in the Telegram days is you need to have actual game developers in your team, that people that know how to make these free-to-play games and all the rest of it. So,
well, and Jeremy actually has the pedigree, which is why I was really excited about him coming in. He comes from the game space.
Yep. So it's very important.
Well, yes. Sorry, we're still on camera.
Yes, mate. Final word to you, Dr. T, before we give away some stuff. Over to you.
Hey, man. I wish you would have been there, Ben. That would have been great to meet you. I met like so many of the entire community, like Morecheese and Shaq, and I didn't meet. Anyway, there was a lot of people, and it was really beautiful to meet them. But there's a lot of stuff we need to discuss offline.
No worries, mate.
So
All right.
let's take it offline because that's way better than
Hey guys, I had one question that I sent to Genesis week. Okay, just one, and it
Go
got
for it, buddy.
answered. I said, when is Playa del Rey gonna get their collection?
Yes.
And then X1 and more said by the end of the week.
Yeah.
And then all we know, they delivered today, so they kept their promise. Right on.
Nice. Woo!
All right.
that's good news.
Playa.
Good news. And
Yeah.
Chelsea got theirs too. So
And that reminds me,
congratulations, Chelsea.
thank you
both.
very much for that, BC, because I had some extra notes to put down and I was going to completely forget about it. So I do have some UDU team news. I have started chipping away at my builds in Lone Mountain United with my own leftover spark. And I talked to Cheese yesterday at length, and we are going to start the transition from the UDU server to the MBA server, probably aiming for the start of next month. So keep your eyes out for that. And in regards to neighborhood ratings, we're going to run a bit of a neighborhood ratings experiment in Midtown Terrace towards the end of this month. I'll follow up with some specific details, both in the UDU server and also in DMs with every single MTU property holder that I am able to reach. The gist of that will be that we'll be asking if people want to switch their designated residence over to Midtown Terrace temporarily towards the end of the month, like I said, and we'll take a snapshot of all the residents that do so in very early July, and we'll send them a juicy gift. No idea at all, of course, if or how that will perform in regards to pushing our neighborhood ratings placement figures, but it'll be a bit of fun to find out. So keep your eyes out for that. I will be, as I said, I'll be DMing everybody individually. And then once we have all the details, of course, UDU is obnoxious in our transparency. So we'll put that all publicly.
I have to say thank you very much for holding this today. And thank you, Cheese and Ben. You guys rock. High five.
No worries, mate. No worries at all, buddy.
Awesome.
All right, let's give away some. Sorry,
really
BC.
cool. I'm sorry. I think that's super exciting. I think it's about time somebody tries to tackle that neighborhood competition. Right on.
Yeah, we'll just give it a go and see what happens.
No, but BC's like a really good person that's just trying to do it for the community too, and we're just all kicking it together. So it's like pretty fucking awesome, actually.
Yes, absolutely. Cheese, did you have a giveaway for this week? Did that come through yet?
Oh my God. Hold on.
All right. Well, I'll do this one while you're getting that organized. So, so this is regular giveaways. Now, if you are in the Zoom and you're not in this list, let me know and I'll punch you in. It's Dak, Uplando, MC, Awesome, Bam, Banana, Boulder, Brian, C32, Dr. Ted, Elijah. iPhone is Blue Rain, I believe. Josh, Kachow, Laban, Maui, Shaq, Slab, Teddy, Jedi, The Meta, Zoe, and Jazz. Anybody missing? Can somebody just confirm in chat? I can't see chat. We good to go?
Yeah, you got it. You got
All
it.
right, let's go.
Yep.
And it is Laban. Laban's been cleaning up. Laban. All right, let's see what Laban's going to win.
Laban.
Laban. What do you got?
Let her go, Laban.
Oh, Halloween sign. All right, I'm going to start taking some of these. No, I was going to say I'm going to start taking these Halloween signs off because I'm getting a bit jacky giving these away, but that's the only way you can really get them. So maybe from next week, I'm going to double it. Well, that's a bit mean to say that, isn't it? All right, I'll start it from this week, Laban. So you're going to get 2 Halloween signs. Yep.
Whoa. No,
You're
you
like,
can't give them all
you're
away
like,
for the
sorry,
Halloween.
but you didn't win, but next week you could win too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty brutal, isn't it? So yeah, we'll do that this week too for this week. Now I will say too that there was that article that got dropped through the week. I did kind of touch on that on the last week's Wine and Cheese show, and I assume Cheese and I haven't had a chance to dive into that ourselves either. So I expect we'll dive into that in the upcoming Wine and Cheese show. There's a lot of just FUD in that article, but there are a lot of points that hit home as well. Oh, DTech was missing. Sorry, DTech, I did miss that. You don't need bloody Halloween signs. I can give you one anytime you want, mate. All right, Cheese, how'd you go? You good to go?
Found it. I put all of them in here. Also, just to let you know, FYI, if you received a gift bag, that's where your tickets are for this prize. If you also received a gift bag with a Samurai Surfing sticker in it, you get a free Samurai Surfer. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Map asset.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's just you won already, sort of thing, and you can win this as well. So if anybody has that, just let me know.
So what's this one here giving away? What's this draw?
This is for your choice of hello, I'm back. Your choice of a Samurai Aquatics map asset. Not the surfer though, anything else.
Anything else? All right, drum roll. And the winner is?
I got 9775507. I'm gonna type that in here.
Oh my gosh, we're getting technical. 977.
It's rigged.
It's rigged.
How? I don't have any names on here. It's impossible.
Darn, that's what you're supposed to say.
So what was that again, Chase?
It's a rug. That's what I was gonna say. Joke.
977 rug 9775507. So if you got a swag bag from Cheese at Genesis Week, have a look in your bag. Hopefully you didn't vomit in it in your hungover state, and see if you have a raffle tickets and get in touch with Cheese, and she will hook you
And
up.
one
Wait,
more.
wait,
One
Ben,
more.
Jeez,
Did
well,
you just
that
say
one.
vomit in the bag?
Yeah,
No,
Did you actually
vomit.
said?
Jeez,
I'm
you
saying
didn't
I
hook
hope
me
you
up
didn't.
with a bag.
Did you come to my booth?
How do you think I got the pins?
Oh yeah.
nice.
Right?
Did you play the cheese game? You
Yes,
had to play the cheese game.
I did play Cheese. Cheese had a really great game, actually.
Oh, thank
Sorry,
you.
Ben. I
Yeah.
didn't mean to interrupt
Oh, you're
your.
right.
It was like a cheese, and you take it like Yahtzee, and you do it, and it has to be face up. It has to be the sign up. If it was cheese up, you get a free throw, and if it was on its side, it doesn't count.
Sounds like a great game to play on layer 2, girl.
Yes. All right. And that second draw was raffle ticket number 9775499, I believe. And was that for a map asset as well?
Yes.
Yes. All right. So make sure if you've got those, get in contact with the Cheese, and she will hook you up. I should say
one more thing. I'm so sorry.
You're right.
The t-shirt that I had, which was Vegas only. You could only get that through Vegas. I will be making NFT with the same thing, with the front and the back image, the 2023, with the little faces of Ben DTech and I. And anyone who I pretty much, if you come to me and say we met, I'll send you one.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. And of course, we need to give, shout outs and well done to, I believe it was Antique Master, who was a winner as well, and YK 2012, who took out the Broadcaster of the Year, and even the one and only DTech got a design award. And of course, all of the people that took part in, won or run it up in the hackathon as well. Congratulations to everyone who got involved. Shitloads of work goes in on the back end. And, as everybody says, the community is what makes Upland special, and it's people like those that are going above and beyond. So congratulations and hats off to everybody. On that note, I got to go to work. So Cheese, please get us the flock out of here. And I will say, sorry, Kachow, yeah, there was a few Fs and F bombs and S bombs. Topics like this tend to be quite passionate. So apologies for that. Sorry, Cheese, over to you.
Stay fresh cheese bag.
Waiting. Oh no.
Are you looking for some of that quality outdoor decor? But you got no freaking idea where to go? Oh, come on over to Samurai Aquatics and Decor for all your outdoor decor needs. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do ya? Yeah, just delete that. I'm still not ready, sorry. Got yourself an empty plot of boring virtual real estate in the metaverse, do ya? Or maybe some kind of crappy ramshackle building that, I don't know, needs a bit of extra spunk to it or something. And stop mucking about and get yourself over to Samurai Aquatics Discord to see all our available stock. We've got loads of different decor to spend your pretend money on. We got saunas to fire you up, and ice baths to chew you the fudge out. Literally stock coming out of our ears. Grills, swings, seating, and more. So much more. And if we don't got it, give us a buzz, and we could probably make it. Get yourself on over to Samurai Aquatics at 30 Aqua Vista Way in Midtown Terrace, San Francisco, lickety split, and gorge yourself on outdoor decor.